there's a point at every family party where it's like, all right, get up on the table, pull out the guitar, we're all singing together. She saw that there was no way that I wasn't going to be doing this. So I started lessons. She's like, you can't learn opera in America. She's like, you need to go to Italy. Being a mom is so intense. I thought it would be like having a puppy or something. Nope. I can feel the culture. I knew what it was like to walk down those streets. I went from 220 pounds to, the lowest weight we ever got during my bodybuilding prep was 111 pounds. I always was like, well, if I'm a sturdy gal, I'm going to lift like an ox. If I look like one, might as well. There's confidence and compliance. So as long as you're doing what's on plan, you can be confident. I essentially had to change who I was as a person. Any baggage you are not willing to let go of will stay on your body.
Today we have Miriam Costa-Jackson. And I don't know if there's such a thing as a Renaissance woman, but I think she is the epitome of a Renaissance woman. What we're going to find out about today is her background in opera and in bodybuilding, which seem like they're completely different areas, but she's excelled in both. And so we really appreciate you coming and talking to us about it.
Thank you. Well, it's my pleasure to be here. We all love to talk about ourselves, so might as well on a podcast. Just kidding.
If we were to get to the roots of who you are, tell us about your family. How did this start? Because obviously you can't bring up your name in the opera world without your sisters.
Absolutely.
And so that's very rare that you have a whole family involved in this. How did that happen?
Well, my mother is from Sicily. And my dad is American, here from Utah. But we just grew up singing. And in the culture in our home, especially when we would fly back to Sicily to be with family, there's a point at every family party where it's like, all right, get up on the table, pull out the guitar, we're all singing together, right?
Really?
Yeah. So
you know that this isn't normal, right? Most people can't say that. Right.
But we just always enjoyed being together and expressing and being musical together. So at a certain point, my mom was like, okay, you're starting to sound good. So it's like you get requested to sing at family parties. But I remember specifically when I was around 10 or 11, my mom had her three tenors CD, and Maria Callas, who is a very well-known opera singer, and I just kept listening to those CDs, and I would memorize the music, and I'd say, Mom, listen to this. I can hit this note, or I can do this run, or I can, how does this sound? And, I'd get the okay, like, good job. But it just, I guess to answer the question is music's always been in the home.
Wow.
And we've always had an opportunity to sing in front of people, whether it was at church or in front of our family. But
not necessarily professionally.
Right.
So how did you make the leap to being opera stars?
Well, I started begging for lessons at 11. And my mom was like, she's like, you're too young. Absolutely not. And this is, my little heart would go into my room for hours and just listen and learn. And I'd go to the library and rent whatever opera I could or whatever CD was out and then go back and listen. And she saw that there was no way that I wasn't going to be doing this. So I started lessons. And then once I began lessons about a year later, my sisters kind of started falling in love with it too. Ginger, they say that, they would hear me in the other room and just get a little bit interested into it. So my oldest sister, Ginger, started studying with me. But then our middle sister, Marina, she took forever. She's like, absolutely not. I'm not joining, middle child. I'm not going to join in on what you guys are doing. And it took about until she was 22-ish. And for context, there's only 3.5 years between the girls from the oldest to the youngest. Wow. My mom and dad were like, get it done. Right. They'll all be best friends.
That's right. It's true.
It'll be a horrible teenage year spanned, when they're teenagers, it's going to be bad for us, but we survived and we are best friends. But somehow, I don't know what was in the water or in the breast milk or whatever, but we all have different voice types.
Wow.
So not only is it that we sing opera, but my oldest sister, Ginger, is a mezzo soprano. which is like the deepest voice type.
Right.
Marina is a dramatic soprano, so it would be just a fuller sounding sound than I have. And mine is where I like to hit higher notes and, you know, like the Queen of the Night stuff that you hear online and whatnot, the opera challenges where they're singing really high is usually my repertoire.
Right.
So God kind of also took care of it where there was never competition between any of us, just naturally. But also we were taught in the home that your sister's win is your win as well.
Yeah.
And in that fashion, we were able to kind of build this sisters thing that we do, where we are constantly wanting to sing with each other. We're wanting to see each other excel and move forward. So we've been able to create opportunities, and then opportunities obviously have been given to us because of that.
I don't know if this is always the case, but it seems like when people excel at stuff, they knew from a very early age that that's what they, I don't know if it was just desire that got them there. Right. But you dragged your sisters.
I sure did.
Along with you.
Well, I mean, what can I say? I just inspired them. Yeah. But no, I just knew there was nothing else that I wanted to do.
And honestly, as a parent, I think there's nothing that would make my heart happier than if my children loved spending time together, did a career together. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you make your parents very happy.
Well, they're wonderful. They've definitely sacrificed everything for us to get this far. Because I mean, my dad was a seminary teacher. Wow. You know, and my mom, a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. So to fund 3 opera singers is not very, it's not inexpensive. Let's just say that. So they sacrificed a lot of their life, a lot of life traveling around, because we have the privilege of having family in Sicily. So the second my mom's like, okay, you guys are all serious about this. When I was in 8th grade or 7th grade, I can't remember, somewhere along those years, she shipped us off to live with her sister.
In Sicily?
Yep. So she was like, you can't learn opera in America. She's like, you need to go to Italy. So I was too young at that time to attend the conservatory there, but I would be an uditrice, which is an auditor, right? So I would follow Ginger, my oldest sister, who was old enough and got in. You had to audition and whatnot. Right. And I would just follow her around into all her classes and learn. And then obviously I was allowed to sing in performances and whatnot. But so we did that. And my parents, they went, this was back in 2003, where we didn't really have cell phones that functioned overseas. Right. We did have a phone call, but it's been a big sacrifice for my family and for my parents.
How many years were you there?
Well, I think it was about 2 years, roughly. Oh, wow. We traveled a little bit in between as well. But then Ginger, my oldest sister, continued there and then started doing auditions and competitions throughout Europe. So my mom stayed and traveled with her. Wow. But then from there, James Levine from the Metropolitan Opera in New York heard her and said, well, you need to be a part of our Young Artist program. So she's the youngest artist ever taken. So she was 18 years old and taken into that Young Artist program, which usually people are in their master's program when they get into that. Yeah. So that's just everything kind of snowballed from there, right?
Right. This is a world unifying activity. Like, this is not something that just happens in Italy. It's not something that just happens in America. Do you do a lot of international travel?
I have. Right now, I mean, I am a mom. I chose to put a little bit of effort and energy there. So I have some downtime, but yeah, we're constantly traveling the world.
You have some downtime. You're a opera singer, a mom, and a bodybuilder, which we haven't gotten to yet. So you've got time. It's fine.
Exactly. I wanted to have something to just entertain myself, I guess, with the bodybuilding. I joke. It takes a lot of effort to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. So the people that we know from our environment are so dedicated. It's I almost feel like a shame, like, oh, I have a coach. That's nothing. I don't have a masseuse. I don't have, a nutritionist. I don't have all these other things that everybody else had. Yeah, exactly. A posing coach. Yeah.
Everything. So yeah, it's a huge endeavor to take on bodybuilding. And, but I wanted to also touch back because you said something beautiful, which is music is the international language.
Right. It really is.
And it's no matter, I've been to Russia, I've been to, different places throughout. And it's like, you see all these people just unified under that one, just to experience that all together. Anyway, I kind of rambled there, but anyway. No,
exactly. And I wanted to go back to that too. I didn't mean to get anxious and jump forward because I also, you're a mom. Like, obviously we can't talk about this without talking about you being a mother.
Right.
So how many children do you have?
So I have 3 children. I have a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, and then a 3-year-old. They have been the joy of my life, but very intense. Being a mom is so intense. I thought it would be like having a puppy or something. Nope. I can't forget the moment that we gave birth and then it was like nighttime came. I'm like, wait a minute. Who's going to watch this child while I'm sleeping?
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's me. And then I never slept well for the rest of my life since then. There's the worry's always been there.
You don't think about that beforehand, but I remember looking down into my child's face and thinking, I'm responsible for him for the rest of his life. And then, it was real.
Yeah. Well, and even after we die, I mean, I don't know anybody's beliefs, but I'm like, I know I'm going to be looking over my kids.
Yeah.
Always. Like, I'm never going to not care for these souls that have come down to me. Yeah. So it's a crazy thing. And they have been so supportive. I'm actually in an opera right now with Jude, my oldest.
Oh, wow.
We are doing with Utah Valley Opera Fest. They kind of hire professionals and then they allow the competition winners, teenagers to college kids, to be a part of the opera. Well, we needed a couple extra boys. Per usual in the arts, sometimes you need a little bit more boys. So Jude was able to step in, but that's the first time.
That's what I was going to ask you, if that was the first time.
That he's been able to be in a show with me. And
what did he think?
He loves it.
He does.
He loves it. And it's wonderful because he'll be my little sounding board. Like, was that funny enough during rehearsal? Because we're in a comedy right now. What would you do better here and whatnot? So he's been just such a joy to have in this process. And
he's your oldest?
Yes,
sir.
So
do you think that this is inspiring his siblings? I know my oldest, I'm really proud of him because he's very successful. And I feel like his siblings all feel like I need to step up. Like, it's not going to be good enough for me to just play video games. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I think that the 2 girls, they really already love singing and we sing together all the time. They'll want to do vocalises with me. So we, I think they're like, oh, finally he gets to be a part of it. So it's more like, okay, he gets his turn, but mom's going to come home and sing with us,
Right.
So,
but do you see some point in the future where you mentioned that you and your sisters were all actually able to be in a same opera. Do you picture a potential to be in an opera with your children?
I hope so. It's a joy to sing. It's a joy to perform. But what I found, especially with the Utah Valley Opera Fest and working with youth, it's kind of even more joyful to give back.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately we'd like to open a conservatory to where we can have and make an impact in young people's lives.
Wow.
Opera is kind of a dying art. It's hard because there's so many languages involved. A lot of people, their brains just shut off and they're like, I'm out. I can't understand French or.
That's what I thought too when I first asked you how many languages you speak, because it seems like there's so many languages that opera is written in that if it's a really good opera, you need to learn German. You know what I mean? Or, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that you need to, we're all humans, right? That's where the whole international language thing comes in, being music, but you really can hear composers where they're from. And that's so cool. Like right now, the next opera I get to do is La Traviata, which is in Italian. And I have maybe 12 days to learn it because my last show with this Utah Valley Opera Fest will be on Monday. And then first day of rehearsals, I believe on the 17th of August. Anyway, I don't know my dates, but it is in Italian, and the composer is Verdi, who is Italian. And it literally sounds like The Godfather. Like you can tell. Right. Or, if you listen to Tchaikovsky, you can just really feel. And then now having traveled to Russia, right, I'm like, I can see that that's the depth of the humanity there. Like I can feel the culture. I knew what it was like to walk down those streets. So I'm like, oh, I can totally gain such an appreciation for this artist because of that. I don't know if that made sense at all, or if I was just going somewhere else completely, but
absolutely. Because that's what I was going to say is it seems like the reason it might be not quite growing is the barrier for entry because of the language, is the exposure to other countries is not that common. I think maybe when we were all in Europe, it was easier because you could drive half an hour and be in another country. But whereas now it's worldwide and you're on a different continent. Right. I don't think, maybe I don't know. It doesn't seem like there would be very many Americans going into opera because of that. Yeah. There's definitely people that are still in love with it, but it is small. It's small here. And it's not optimal. Like a lot of they don't have opera houses. Imagine this if we had a super fancy opera house here. Yeah. That wasn't just, we have little theaters. There's a Capitol Theater that's lovely here. Right. But if we had an opera house, like a European one where the acoustic was good and it wasn't just a center that you need a mic for or whatnot, where you can actually experience the human voice. Right. The way it was intended to, I think a lot more people would enjoy it. What is your favorite opera house?
Oh, my goodness. Well, this sounds silly, but I do love the Metropolitan Opera.
Why does that sound silly?
Okay. I have two of them, so that's why it sounds silly. Okay. I love the Metropolitan Opera because I was able to live in New York with my sister while she was there. Okay. Do some auditions and just get a feel for what life would be like as a singer in New York. Right. And I just got the backstage pass. I could go anytime and go and watch the operas from side stage and whatnot, and it was beautiful. So I love that kind of as a home. But also in Palermo, there's the Teatro Massimo, which was right down the street from my grandparents' house. Wow. And I remember walking past and being like, I'm singing there one day. I'm going to, which that's my sister just barely, after, 20 years in career, she just barely sang there this year. Wow. Because it takes a while to get into things, but it's fine. Exactly. Everything happens when the Lord wants us to have it happen. So that's great.
So if that was all you accomplished this early in life, that would be phenomenal. It would be bravo. You know what I mean? But that's not it. You're also a mom. Right. And a bodybuilder. Yeah. And I think, and maybe this is naive, but it almost seems like your voice could be affected by changing your body. Totally. And I actually get asked this a lot because I went from 220 pounds to, the lowest weight we ever got during my bodybuilding prep was 111 pounds. You were probably that size when you got on the stage for Wasatch, no? Oh, not 111. I was 118. 118. Roughly, because we were putting water and salt and food back in to make the muscle a little bit more. There's a science behind it. Don't ask me, ask Dane, like my coach. He'll know. Well, that's cool. I didn't know he was your coach. Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's fabulous. He's phenomenal. I've recently started following him and I'm shocked at the range of stuff I never even imagined was part of monitoring and adapting. And well, I just went to him because I always lifted heavy my whole life. I was a little bit heftier. I never was that full 220. That was after kids and emotions and constricted feelings. But I always was like, well, if I'm a sturdy gal, I'm going to lift like an ox. If I look like one, might as well. So I always really loved pushing myself at the gym. Right. So I thought I would hire Dane and just
go immediately into a bodybuilding prep because I would have enough muscle underneath. But no, he took one look at my body. He's such an expert. And he was like, this shows estrogen dominance here, here, and here in your body where you're holding your fat. And we're going to do blood panels and make sure everything's okay.
Blood panels, genetics.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then, we had to build. We had to lose everything or we had to do a big cut.
Right.
And then we built up and then we cut down again.
So for the show. He was with you from the beginning. He was your first coach.
Yep. First coach ever. So that was in 2024, I believe we started together. So it's been almost 2 years or 2 years and a little bit. So I think we started May of 2024. And
I don't mean to preempt the fanfare, but your first bodybuilding show was at the Wasatch Warrior and you took the overall, which
I did.
Is a big deal. Like it's a big deal for a seasoned competitor to take the overall, but your first show.
Thank you. Well, I do have to say I did the work, right? But I did what I was told.
Right.
And I think because it takes a long time to build muscle, and Dane was like, we have to strip you down. Like what I was just saying, like we have to first see what muscle you have and we need to build you out some more.
Right.
And I think some girls just say, I'm going to lose weight and go to my bodybuilding show. Well, you won't get as lean as you need to. You won't have as much muscle. Like you're just going to be playing, games with cards that you don't know, like you're not going to know what you're doing, but he did. Dane knew what he was doing. And so we had a good amount of muscle to go forward and win my division.
Yeah.
But because I am a singer, I'm a natural athlete.
Right.
So because we don't want to mess anything hormonally with the voice at all.
Right.
Because that was something him and I.
Hormonally.
Yeah.
I didn't know hormones would affect the voice.
Yeah. Well, just steroids and the things that people take.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
so,
I see what you're saying.
I couldn't risk virilization of the cords at all.
No, exactly.
And that was always very important to him. So he's always closely monitored that as well. He's like, I'm not going to let you sacrifice singing for bodybuilding because bodybuilding is super amazing and it'll be with me for the rest of my life.
Right.
But at a certain point, will you be able to sing to your grandchildren when you're a grandma?
Right.
Or will you,
Yeah.
So
what was it that made that leap?
Well, I've always wanted to I've always lifted heavy and I've always gone to the gym.
Right.
But I just was ready to do something a little bit more difficult and challenging with my life.
Do you attribute any of going to the gym all the time to your opera career? Or it was more of like a sanity thing?
Well,
for me, it's a sanity thing.
Well, I just have always loved it. I don't know how to express it. I remember doing videotapes with my mom as a kid. Uh-huh. And then the second I was 16 and I worked as a lifeguard at a gym, I started just going after my shifts and I loved it. I kept it up throughout college and, it's just always been fun for me.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I was like, when I'm done having kids, maybe I'll try for a bodybuilding show.
Right.
Like maybe I'll try to actually get a coach.
Do you correlate any of the discipline of bodybuilding, because it's an extremely disciplined endeavor, to the discipline that you learned learning opera?
Absolutely. It's hard to learn music, it's hard to just with learning anything in general. Right. There is a certain amount of grit and discipline and also skin that you have to build up with being a singer.
Right.
Every time you sing, it feels personal and some people don't like it. And there have been so many auditions that have gone well and have gone poorly. And because I have strength in that way in my character, I felt like, you know what, I'll be fine to go out on stage in a bikini and have everybody see my body. It's not a problem for me. Like I already have felt rejection and failure before plenty of times in music. So, and I'm also not scared to take a good old look at myself and fix things, because with singing, you record yourself constantly.
Right.
And it's so painful to hear, because what you want sometimes to sound like, if you're listening with your own ears, you're not singing correctly. But if you're feeling it, you're doing it correctly.
Really?
So it's like, sometimes what you're feeling and what's coming out is not, you just have to make little tweaks in order to become a professional.
I'm such a novice at singing. It's not the current me, I guess. And I saw a video recently of you and your sisters standing there doing an exercise while you were holding your tongues.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, I had no idea that.
Yeah.
So what does it help holding your tongue and practicing?
Well, I personally have a lot of rigidity at the base of my tongue when I sing. It manifests like whatever your larynx is doing down here, it shows everywhere else. I don't know, just to have the sound less constricted, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So just to have a more free sound. The current role that I'm doing has a lot of runs and high notes. And I just wanted to make sure before my show to get that tongue out of the way so that it doesn't block anything.
Yeah.
Because tongue tension is the thing as a singer. But I mean, it's also good for us to regulate. I don't know if you've seen where it's like, if you pull your tongue out for like a minute or so, it helps with just cortisol and regulation.
Probably because it's somehow linked to the vagus
probably.
nerve. Yeah.
I don't know the science behind things. I just,
No, it's fascinating because recently I learned sometimes you can get emotionally upset. And one of the things that the Japanese will do is they'll walk backwards for a minute and it'll reset your nervous system. And I thought, there's no way. And I did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this works. You know what I mean? So now I don't even care that people are looking at me because I'm walking backwards. I'm rebooting my system. Absolutely.
Well, when you need it. And that's also, bodybuilding is great for that because everyone's like, go do a cold plunge.
Yeah.
I'm such a warm water gal.
Right.
I do not enjoy cold plunges, but it helps us. And it's those little things also that just don't think, just do, that makes you stronger as a singer and a bodybuilder.
My partner, Steve, is the cold plunge expert. And, I am a cold plunge novice. The committee inside my head will not stop chattering when I go get in the cold water, but yeah.
Totally. Well, I can be better, but there was a time that I was doing it at least 5 times a week. And I just remember like saying all my I'm a bodybuilder. I'm a, all the things that I wanted to be in those moments that I just that elevated state of like not being able to calm down. But
that's a good idea. That's what I need to do is rewrite the script so the committee isn't so vocal.
Right. Yeah. Just be loud or put on some music. I don't know. It'll be great.
So, your goal was not to take the overall at Wasatch Warrior. You said that this is going to be a lifetime sport. What have you and your coach decided to do moving forward?
So, I was in the wellness division,
right.
But I do truly believe you need to be enhanced for that as an athlete, just with steroids, etc.
Right.
So I'm moving down to the bikini division, and it's not moving down, just I'm taking a different direction laterally. Yeah. Bikini is also awesome.
Right.
So right now we are in a building phase. So he's been creeping up my calories, 200 calories at a time incrementally, since the show. So we're gaining a little bit of muscle, a little bit of weight. That's also a fun mental battle to have to deal with.
Yeah, I know.
Well, just because there's so much emotionality with having been overweight before.
Yeah.
I don't view fat as a positive at all, but fat is actually healthy and it's okay. So those are things that I need to readjust.
I was a fat kid. And so I was always the center in football. I'd snap the ball, get knocked on my butt. And so I didn't like that. And so that's my biggest hang up is I will cut and then panic that I'm losing muscle, and then I'll bulk, and then I'll panic because I'm getting fat, and I just end up bouncing.
Yeah.
So I'll figure that out.
I know. Well,
eventually.
Right now I'm like, well, if I wanted to, I could just, ask to try to cut down, but I can't do that. I want to escape gaining weight, but we're still really healthy.
Right.
We're like sitting about 127 right now. And that's in April, having been 118. Like that's actually really good. We're staying on plan. And I think for me, like there's confidence and compliance. So as long as you're doing what's on plan, you can be confident. It's just those moments where, because I'll have Sunday meals with my family or whatnot.
Right.
And then, you know, maybe eat a little bit more, which I always tell on the deviation sheet. We have a sheet that we have to fill in. It's like, what did you do wrong this week? Or just to see like how your body responded. Honestly, it's just information. It's not a shaming tool.
Right.
I go to guilt and shame. Shouldn't do that. But did you just see me shame myself again in that, in trying to correct that?
We'll discuss that later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, moving forward. So
not that it's not important.
No, it's we're good.
It's part of it.
It is part of it, but it's pattern recognition. Just having been also a chubbier kid myself, you know, it's your pattern. What are you trying to protect?
So this is what I noticed, because it's not just me. I recognize that pretty much everybody has body dysmorphia. When I got down really, really low, I felt like I was a Catholic priest because I couldn't be alone with someone without them confessing their food sins to me. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just your personal beliefs. I think people project their body dysmorphia on others in the way that they treat them.
Totally.
Because if they treat themselves poorly, you know, especially I've noticed if they have an eating disorder, they can be really rude because that's how they got their eating disorder, was just beating themselves up to get to where they're at.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, projection is a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. And same when I was the leanest and good, everyone's like, well, I should be doing this as well. And, you know, or, you know, you'd get those people that want to wave a cookie in front of your face. Like, oh, are you going to eat with us today? And it's like, why are you, it doesn't matter. But the fun thing is that you get to learn to do it for yourself. Yeah. And you get to test yourself and your own self-discipline. And that's been, I think, the greatest blessing of all with bodybuilding is that I essentially became a completely different person.
Right. Which I honestly think what happens is part of body dysmorphia is I can't.
Right.
Or I'm not. And then once you do it, it kind of breaks all those chains and you realize I could do this whenever I wanted to. Absolutely. It's not as big of a deal. One of the things I love about the gym that we work out in is when we first went there, I was probably 50 pounds overweight at the time. Everybody treated me, they loved me. They treated me like I was just like everybody else. And yet everybody was clearly, you know, so much more disciplined and so much further down the path than I was, that it wasn't that they guilted me into it. It was just, I need to step up because I don't feel like I belong without working on this.
Well, that gym's a little intimidating. I remember being like, my friend Heather worked there, or she still does. Yeah. But I was like, do I even can I come to that gym? Like, am I allowed? Do you need a permission to be there? And she's like, no, just come and work out. You're fine. You belong. But the cool thing about, and I love that we met each other at the gym too, is just, you find a lot of people that are successful and are doing great in their perspective or respective fields, and people that are doing well and focused on goals and just executing in life. They do not put other people down.
No.
Because we've all been there and we all are doing our own thing, you know? And so, that's why the atmosphere is wonderful, is because you get a lot of people that are just killing it at life. Yeah. And so why would they put people down? There's no time for that.
Yeah. And I love that you brought up Heather, because she was kind of my first exposure there, because she was working at the front desk and she was just so accepting. You know, the old TV series Cheers, everybody knows your name. It was just really nice to walk in and not know anybody in there, but I knew Heather would say, "Hi, Joe." You know what I mean?
I love her. Every morning, I usually bring her like an Alani Nu. And I just we sit and we chat, and she knows everything. I tell her so much.
Yeah. She knows everything about everybody.
I know. I know. You know, so, but it's a wonderful thing to have a community and to feel loved and just supported.
Yeah. It's contagious though too, because I've seen other people, they go up and they say, "Oh, hi, are you new?" And it's like,
yeah,
this doesn't. And the funny thing is, after having been there for almost a year now, I go to the corporate gyms and I see people who have stagnated because, yeah, they're the best looking in their gym.
Yeah.
But that's not saying a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like I am around people who are so many years beyond me, who have such incredible muscular development and discipline that it's just like, I feel like, so as a child, during the golden age of bodybuilding, my idols were all of these, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Sergio Oliva. And it's like, I am around the modern day versions of those. And some of them look better than they did back in the golden age of bodybuilding. And so, well,
because things just develop. That's where you get amazing products. That's where you get, you know, the science behind everything changes. And I think I'm hoping, and I think that bodybuilding is healthier than it's ever been.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, that's when you work with the right people.
To take risks. Yeah.
Right. Because I work with Dane and then I work with Alex.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Dane made sure day one that it was about health first.
Yeah.
I never lost my period during prep. I don't know if that's okay to say on this podcast, but
100%.
I've never lost any hair, you know, lost sleep just because I was stressed, you know, but then we regulated that as well.
You're the second person to say that. And both of you have been out of that gym. Whereas in the past, the ones that I've known, they've told me I haven't had a period in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just seemed like that is so bad for you.
It is. Know? Well, I mean, it's not necessarily healthy. It's just.
No, exactly.
It's a fun thing to challenge yourself to do. But anyway, I'm excited that we at least have the tools and the science that we have now.
I have to back up a little bit because it surprised me when you said you're pivoting to the bikini division from wellness. And I always think of wellness as being fuller glutes, fuller quads. And so it's strange to me that you're putting weight on to go into the bikini division. You've already taken overall, so it's clear you have a wellness physique for that package.
Right. So I definitely have a good shape for wellness.
Right.
But the reason why it's not, I think, wellness, and I don't know if this is what you intended, but I'm just saying in general, wellness sometimes is seen to be a little bit, you allow a little bit more fat on you on stage.
No, that's not necessarily what I was thinking. Because I don't, literally by the time you get on the stage, there's no fat.
Right.
It's all muscle. Right. And so I'm only referring to muscular size. Whereas I see some bikini competitors and they're just tiny. You know what I mean?
Tiny, yeah.
And so I don't know, especially in the Utah division, we took one of our athletes who didn't do as well here, got her pro card on the national stage because they value more muscle.
Okay.
Whereas locally,
yeah, it just depends on the judge you get, right?
Right.
No, so in bikini specifically, I need to continue my glute density, and now I need to work on shoulders. So in wellness, it's all really about the lower body just taking over.
Right.
So we did obviously do shoulders. I have some shoulders, but now we need to, thank you. Now we get to just add on to that a little bit more. So it's just I need to put on weight and build muscle in different areas.
Right.
But unfortunately you do have to put on weight in order to do that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know, like
fortunately and unfortunately, it's such a good thing for me personally, but it's a hard thing after being so lean.
Yeah, exactly. But the reality is I saw something recently and I love the fact that she said this. It's not realistic. Like I recognize that when I had gotten down to single digit body fat percentage and I was comfortable, that I had an eating disorder because it's not normal to just stay there.
Right.
It looks great. You don't realize how great you look until afterwards. And you're like, I should have taken more pictures.
Right.
But it's just not sustainable. It's not, I think anybody who was to stay there, it wouldn't be healthy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, and I just think you would need truly a coach to coach you through it. Like if you are going to do that, you need to be very precise.
Right.
Don't miss your supplements. You know, like you need to just be extremely
That's true, because I've seen some pros that don't fluctuate that much in the off season. But still,
like 10 pounds ish.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're supposed to stay. I'm not sure.
Huh.
I'm not sure, actually. I really don't know anything about that. I'm a very good soldier in doing what I'm told. Yeah. And I put my fate in the hands of those who know what they're doing.
I know he's got to be a great coach, because my coach, I feel like I've in my background, I've worked with professional athletes. And so I've been around high level coaches, and Alex blows me out of the water. We were doing a pressing movement, and my shoulder started hurting, and I told him that, and he grabbed my lat, and I'm thinking, why are you grabbing my lat? That's not what's hurting. Grinded it. And I mean, he's very masochistic. Yeah. But afterwards it didn't hurt. I'm like, how did you know that? Like, I have a degree in sports science, in traditional Chinese medicine, and I've been around who I think are the best of the best. And yet you just blew him out of the water in 1 second. And his coach is your coach. Yeah. And so that's why I started following him, because I'm constantly just amazed at Alex's depth at everything. Oh, yeah. And yet he has a coach. Right. And so. Well, and especially to coach him through his own prep. Right. I think that's what it's for, because I believe that they are friends, and then they just use each other's skills. Like, Alex is a professional in the biomechanics, and obviously as a trainer as well. Yeah. And then, you need a coach. 100%. You just need a coach. Yeah. And so luckily they're both like, we're both brilliant, so let's just help each other out, There's a saying in medicine: a physician who has himself as a physician has a fool for a physician. Yes. And so there are things that you're not going to see in yourself. That's part of the reason why you don't practice on your family members, because personal concerns can interfere with your diagnosis. Right. Right. Or like what you think or, project onto your family. That's a hard one. Exactly. Or what you want for them and not what they maybe want, you know? I mean, it's an interesting thing. Plus, a prophet's not a prophet in his own land. Yes. And so I think you get away with a lot as a physician because of the white coat. Like, I was, as a first year student, I remember being in the clinic and I'm a first year student. Like, I'm nowhere near where I need to be practicing on people, but I have to get experience. And they just walk in and hand me their problems in a box, and they expect me to clean it up and wrap it and put a bow on it and hand it back to them. Right. Or like the big thing was, at the time I was a lot younger, and to have a 23-year-old female say, "Oh, do you want to see my vaginal herpes?" I'm like, "No, I know what vaginal herpes look like." But they just assume, "Oh, you've seen this before." Yeah. And it's like, no, it's okay. Let's not go there. Right. Well, we do assume that, like, for a doctor, a body is a body. Right. But we're human. We're all human, for sure. Human. Yeah. Very much so. I don't know. At least I am. Yeah. Yeah. So you've been lifting your whole life, but then you pivot to bodybuilding. And I know that with my coach, there were things that I was surprised. What was the biggest surprise that you had going from, well, I've been doing this, so I know what to do? What was it that surprised you about bodybuilding? Well, I essentially had to change who I was as a person, right? Completely change yourself as a person. And not completely, but it was not just lifting for fun. Right. Right. It's always been a joy. It's been a source of endorphins, blah, blah, blah. Right. Makes me feel good. Right. It was everything you do has a purpose. Right. And follow to a T. I mean, I'm an artist. I take liberties where I need to in order to create my art. Right. That's the definition of creativity. Right. So I trust myself. I trust my soul to create something beautiful in my life. Right. But the way that I've needed to be precise. Right. In bodybuilding means that I literally had to move from that creative mindset in a way. Right. And just do what I was told. A completely different mind. Right. But then it also is more than that. I went from 220 pounds down to 111. Right. We'll just say that. Right. As the lowest. Well, I mean, it is the lowest, but
how much was I holding on to with all that weight on me?
Right.
So much.
Right.
What I've discovered through this process is that you need to release emotions.
Right.
Any baggage you are not willing to let go of will stay on your body. That's where,
deep.
when people come up to us and we were our leanest and said, I should be doing this too. The first thing I say back to them is, if you had all the tools in your toolbox to take care of what you disliked about your physique, you'd be able to.
Yeah.
But I could not be the person with the same mentality, with the same way I was approaching life.
Right.
And be a competitor.
No, exactly.
So I was able to lose 50 pounds by myself of that 100 plus pounds.
Right.
But then Dane was like, girl, you need some therapy. You need some, let's get you on a plan.
Wow.
He's like, because I'm your coach.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you, but you need a therapist. Like, I'll be your coach, but you do need a therapist. And so he actually he referred me to his therapist, which I love her, Michelle. She's so amazing. I see her every Thursday.
Right.
Currently still, right? Because sometimes you need a sounding board who's not biased, like family members or whatnot. Like, my spouse cannot be my therapist either, right? He's my spouse.
Yeah.
But you have to change patterns. You have to change that second, because I suffer and have suffered, especially in the past. Now it doesn't happen quite as often ever,
right?
Because I've changed.
Mm-hmm.
But binge eating is a thing,
right?
And I don't know if you've experienced where you go and grab for some food and you're like, maybe I shouldn't do this, but then it hits your mouth and then it like landslides, right?
Yeah.
But it's recognizing in that second that you're going to, like, you can stop that.
Right.
And having the strength to just stop it.
Yeah.
But I had to also change my household habits.
Yeah.
I am a mother with kids. I have a spouse. And it's been rough on my spouse. He did not marry this person who stands in front of you today.
Right.
He married the girl that was not willing to confront with any of her emotional problems. He married, and she was lovely. I love her. I've grown to love her since then.
Right.
But I had to change dynamic in my home. I had to say, no, I do really need to take time for myself, which they were happy to give me, but it's hard. It's a sacrifice.
Right. You have to learn to ask for what you need because at least for me, it was hard to learn. I just got to the point where I'm just going to take care of it myself.
Right.
And that comes from childhood because you didn't learn how to ask and receive when you were younger.
See, and I love to give, which I've actually found can be a narcissistic trait because I have a hard time receiving. Wow. I love to give help. It feels great to give help.
Right.
But you feel super weak.
Yep.
You don't want to receive.
Yeah.
Like even to be like, I love to hold people, but have them hold me. No. I should be the one holding you. Like I can't.
Wow.
Not, so that's beautiful. Michelle called that out in me where she's like, why aren't you allowing people to serve you?
I think I'm gonna have to get her card from you.
I know, right? Really, I will. She's amazing.
The thing I love about this is because my background is Chinese medicine, the difference between Chinese medicine and allopathic or Western medicine is that it's a very body and mind, like emotions have effects on the body. Food is medicine.
Absolutely.
And so I don't mean, this sounds really weird to say that it's exciting, but your example is that you're completely changing you, not just your body, not just what people see in a picture or on the stage, which would be very easy because you're an actress. Right. To be an opera singer, you have to know how to have a stage presence, but you're working on the core.
Yes.
Which in all reality, we all know it presents.
Right.
Whether we mean to or not, it's going to come out. And so it makes you so much more genuine. The person that is in front of everybody is the real you.
Right.
Which is beautiful. That's so cool.
Thank you. It's a journey, and it's a journey we're all on together.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's, this is an aside, but I feel like we're in a day and age where there's so much information, so much research has been done, so many before, like growing up, it was tough it out, put some dirt in it, and keep going, like suck it up, or
your feelings don't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Get over it.
And now we know that you can't truly stifle a feeling. It's going to come back up, but it's not going to come back up the way you want it to.
Right.
Another side story, very close friend of mine died in a infamous way, and our team was kind of shunned from, just cut him off. But he was very dear to me and very close to me. And I was so worried that, like, he's being misjudged. What happens if we find out later? We can't go back and do this over again.
Right.
And yet, because I was willing to sacrifice, and I actually spoke at his funeral, I realized that, and I didn't like funerals. I hated funerals, but I realized there's a purpose to closure. I never saw the value in it before, but I found out later on. I would talk to team members, and they would talk about being on operations where they deliberately took risky, they did things more riskily because they didn't care if they died. And I attribute that to the fact that you can't help but, if you're going to project this negativity on somebody else, it's going to come back at you. You're going to project it on yourself.
Right. Well, we're all so interconnected.
Yes.
Any way that you treat somebody else will come back to you.
Right.
And any way that you treat somebody else is how you treat yourself.
Right.
You know, if people like the eating disorder, people with eating disorders that are unkind, right?
Yeah.
They're so mean to themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's actually something that this week I even am growing in understanding. I am rude, so mean to myself still.
Yeah.
That even when I sing, I was having a voice lesson with my sister, which is so great to have ears that are so close that would love to listen to you. But she's like, why are you pushing more than you need to in this moment while you're singing?
Right.
She's like, your voice is enough. You're enough. Like, your instrument is beautiful as it is, and you don't need to do more. Like, you always want to show that you can do more. And in me being unkind to myself, I felt like pushed me to be better. But actually, you're just being mean to yourself.
Right, exactly.
You know,
you would have gotten there one way or the other, but you felt like you had to beat yourself to get there.
You do.
Which is not healthy.
And I'm finding like my life feels like Inception, the movie, where it's like there's a layer and then there's another layer and then there's another and another.
Right.
But it's all playing on the same thing where we're actually all very much worthy of love where we're at. And I feel that's such a simple thing to say. And I think everyone's heard it so many times, but
honestly, it's not though.
Imagine how much greater you could be at anything if you actually did it in love.
Yeah.
But love doesn't mean to comply with mediocrity.
Right.
Right? It's the effort.
Yeah.
Love your effort that you're putting in. Don't love that you failed, but love that you put effort in. And I think that's where I'm mentally trying to shift, where it's like, well, did I put in effort? Good. Then I can love that effort, even if it's that 1% that I gave today.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, you are so deep. It's crazy. We go down this one path and we end up on a completely different path that I had no idea about.
Editing is going to be so hard. I'm so sorry, Josh. You know.
But he's good at this.
Okay, good.
So, and I have to tell you a story. Okay. We were talking about Heather, and the funny thing was we put samples out so that people could try them, and I thought, okay, people are probably getting burned out on them, and Heather's like, when are you going to restock them? Because Miriam really likes it. I was so excited because I didn't know that you were using it. And so I went and I got some. I said, hey, keep these aside. And so you keep these for Miriam. And
that was the best day of my life, by the way, when she was like, I have some stuff for you. I was like, what? She's like, Joe left these. I was like, thank you. I was like bathing in all these samples. It was great. But yeah, I love the product because I will take it in front of Heather. I'm like, let's see how fast it works. And then all of a sudden my face, she's like, are you okay? And I just flush completely.
Yeah.
And sometimes and maybe it could be that I'm mean to myself, but I'm like, I want to feel something when I'm working out, right? I want something to lean against.
I want to know that it's working.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many, I never thought vitamins were strong because you're like, I think it's working. Yeah. I'm taking it because I'm supposed to.
My urine's maybe a little different in color.
Yeah, exactly. But when that flush hits you, you know it's working.
Well, and then you're just itchy. I love it though. Yeah. Like I love the itch where I'm like, this is tingling everywhere. And then for me, a big thing in my growth right now is I visualize.
Right.
Every rep. Right. I'm like, I know what my butt's going to look like on stage next time, every single rep. Right. I know what I want every body part to look like. So it's like, I can feel exactly where on the muscle.
Right.
And so it just helps put that visual, like mental, spiritual, and physical together, for me. So it's been a great push. And then plus you're just, I feel like I've been able to lift heavier as well.
Yeah, you can.
My muscles are like a little bit more loose.
Right.
It just enhances the whole experience. So it really is just something to lean against. It's a tool to use, like a really good tool.
The funny thing is when I first started formulating it, I didn't know that I had little hairs on my bum until
just poke up.
Until I'm like, I have hairs on my, because they're all standing up.
You're just, or maybe you're just working your glutes better than the rest of us. Maybe they're just growing.
Maybe.
But I love that. And then plus you get a little tan.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when I feel white at the gym, like I'm going to just pop this in and feel rosy. Yeah. And
everyone talks about how people come up to me and say, are you doing okay? Nobody says that to me. I just think they all think I have like a second-degree sunburn. You know what I mean?
Always. Yeah. You're like, I just like to stay toasty, especially with the weather nowadays.
But I also, it also makes me excited because I can tell who's using it. And I go up there, I'm like, you tried it, didn't you?
Well, you came up to me the other day. You're like, I see you're working. He's like, I love this. So it is fun. And it's just, every time it's a little different too, though. Do you notice that?
Every time?
Not every time, but I'm just saying, like, I feel it a little bit different, and it's my workout that's changed.
That's what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. What I have noticed is if I'm working legs, I get a better burn in my legs. If I'm working upper body, better. I think that you're just naturally sending more blood flow to that area because you have to.
But you know what I also do? Confession. I am like, because, I'm 37, right? Wrinkles happen. And that's great. Right. But I'm like, maybe it'll, like the extra tingly on my face, like I'll rub my face a little bit and be like, it's going to help promote my collagen growth.
You know what's funny? When I first realized what I had, I tried to get it patented. And so when you start the patent process, when it says patent pending, they basically give you a number that saves your place in line. Okay. But you still have to do the research. And so you pay a company to look through all of the patents to find anything that you could possibly be competing with. It's called prior art. Mm-hmm. And the thing that really surprised me is cosmetics have known the value of B3, which niacin, B3, and NAD, they're all the same thing. NAD, once your body takes niacin in, it converts it into NAD. So it's like a food form of NAD. But most of the cosmetics were the ones that had been using B3.
Oh,
and interesting. I thought, that is interesting. Well, and so the funny thing was when it started, niacin was just an old school bodybuilder thing. Like all they knew is it worked better. They didn't know what NAD was. And so I was following the doctor who was the world's foremost expert on niacin when he did the studies where he injected it into old rats and they started making new muscle. And that's when he realized it was actually NAD, which repairs DNA, it clears out toxins, it does all these other things much more than just this cool party trick of lighting you on fire, Okay,
so we are getting younger as we use it.
Yes.
All right, well, boom.
In so many ways, because DNA repair and mitochondrial repair are crucial to all forms of aging. And I think that's why NAD is considered an anti-aging drug. Yeah.
Well, but I also am a little bit addicted. I know it's not like supposed to be addicting, but I'm like, I cannot have a workout now without feeling the burn before,
So you know why? NAD is molecularly similar to tryptophan. Tryptophan's the turkey drug. On Thanksgiving, after you have turkey, you want to go take a nap? Well, high doses of tryptophan, 1 milligram of NAD is the equivalent to 80 milligrams of tryptophan. High doses of tryptophan are actually an antidepressant and they treat schizophrenia.
Oh, that's cool.
And so if you pay attention,
I'm covered.
No. That's not what I mean.
I see.
If you pay attention, you'll feel better. It's not like a complete euphoria, but it's kind of Pavlov's dog. Like you start salivating before you see the food.
Oh, that's me.
You start associating working out with feeling better, and now you can't not work out. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
So, and this only enhances it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I mean, it's selfish because I made it for me, but everybody found out about it. And now that's why it's really cool when people like it, because I know why. Like people either love it or they hate it because it's very strong. And so I'm fine. Like if people don't like it, I'm like, okay, look, let me just explain. It's not going to hurt you at all. This is why that happened. It's good. Like I'm okay. I realize it's strong. Like not everybody, if you're going to get on the treadmill and just walk, you're not going to understand why you're doing this. But the ones who like it, it really, I'm like, I'm not that much of a freak. Other people like it too. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's just people who like to push themselves hard in the gym are going to love it. Well,
and that's why it really blew up among professional athletes because they may not necessarily know the science, but they know exactly where their maxes are. You give them something and they exceed it, whether it's amount or whether it's repetitions, they're sold.
Right.
They don't care really what the science is behind it. It did this, so I'm going to do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's me too. It's like it just makes the feeling of what I'm doing more present. It makes me more present in my workout. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because I literally can feel everything.
Yeah. So that's so cool.
Thank you.
Miriam, I really appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
I would love sometime in the future to maybe sit down with your sisters and see what the dynamic. There's going to be
a lot of, we're like three hens.
Right.
But
that's perfect. Yeah.
Yes, we would love to. And maybe even sing,
That would be awesome.
That would be fun so that we can, show up in that way at least.
You truly are a Renaissance woman.
Oh, thank you.
And so I really appreciate this.
It's been a joy. Thank you for having me.